Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Ivy Slater, author of From the Bar to the Boardroom. Ivy, welcome to the show.
Paul, thank you for having me. Thrilled to be here today.
Are you ready to get started?
I am. I'm really excited to jump into this.
All right. Question number 1. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Stop waiting to get ready. And I'll expand on that. You know, when I was the first book I wrote, I kept saying, I'm not going to write it. And then we get ready to write it. And then we start talking about writing it. And then we are like, so we spend a lot of time in getting ready. For a first-time author, when in doubt, start writing. Jump in and just write a table of contents. You know, if you have your table of contents, it doesn't mean you have to write your book in order. You have topics. Keep a brainstorm sheet of topic ideas to create that table of contents. My biggest thing is stop getting ready to get ready. Go.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Truly the hardest part, you know, a lot of people, it's like, well, is it the writing? Is it the editing? Is it the decision making? Is it the layout? Is it all of that? The hardest part is our inner critic that stops us. So we start going, and what stops us is we start questioning, is the content good enough? Am I good enough? Who am I to? I had this myself with From the Bar to the Boardroom. I questioned, I put it all down, and I was like, it's really not that good. You know, I think we need to wait. I need to go back and revisit it. So stop self-critiquing, get it out there, hire a great editor to work with you, and then take that leap and stop prejudging yourself, your book, your content, and truly your inner critic there.
Well, I think the biggest challenge, too, is imposter syndrome. And people don't realize every single person is an expert. Everyone has something great that they can share with the world.
It is so true. And the imposter syndrome comes to stop us way too often. If I'm referring to it as the inner critic, if we're referring to it to self-doubt, it doesn't matter how you title it. It's a matter of get over it. What can you do to move forward?
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
A couple of marketing strategies that went really well. Number one, I'm a person who runs a business who knows you need to delegate. Okay, so I hired a marketing team to help me launch the book on globally on Amazon. We hit bestseller status within hours. We hit international bestseller in less than 24 hours. I hired well. I did the research. I got my team on board. We had videos ready. We had marketing pieces ready. We were set to go. We didn't just put it out there. I delegated to a team and did the research and built a good team to help me get it out there. I am a business coach. I'm a business consultant. I help businesses grow and scale. I'm not a book expert all the time. I needed to know what I knew and then how to hire people who knew more than me and gain their expertise. I'd say that was one of the greatest things I did in marketing. And I put myself out there. I kept talking about the book. When I was writing the book, I was already marketing it. I said, yes, oh, right, I'm going away this weekend. I'm writing, my next book. They're like, oh, really? Tell me about it. Oh, absolutely. Everywhere. I spoke everywhere, every networking event. what are you working on? Oh, well, I'm doing this, and this. And by the way, did I tell you about the next book that's coming out? I use the power of voice.
Well, you mentioned utilize the marketing team. So you were talking about videos and different marketing pieces. So can you tell us a little bit more about that process and how you guys are able to get #1 bestseller?
I can tell you some of it. I will always disclose as much as I feel educated, so that I handled. They told me, like, Ivy, we want you to be video ready when the book launches. I was like, okay. At 6 a.m. I was showered, dressed in a lovely outfit, had hair and makeup on, and they're like, as soon as we set go, we would like you to go online and start doing some videos. And they said to me, like, here are some talking points. I took their talking points, developed them, and said, well, we have 24 hours to make this happen. We have a window of opportunity. I am going to show up. I put myself in a rented house by myself. No family, no friends, no nothing. This was my job. We had autoresponders ready for people when they bought the book. We had thank you pages ready. We had notes going out to our community from my newsletter list, my blogs. We gained community. We let people know what was happening. Do you know where we're going to be launching on Tuesday? I've been announcing it for 30 days. We put it out there on social media. Oh, my goodness, I'm so excited. Do you know I'm in California right now? I'm getting ready to launch the book. Do you know I'm going to be doing it from here? We just kept gaining excitement, gaining momentum. And then we also worked and built strategic partners.
So you're talking like JV partners?
Yes. So I looked at my relationships. I looked at the relationships I had in my business. And a colleague of mine had a relationship, and I was getting to know a few business people in India. And I let them know, hey, by the way, do you know I'm launching my book? They're like, no, give me the date. Give us the information. They got it out to their network. We ended up as a bestseller in India. I ended up because people I know at bestseller status in Germany, because people kept sharing it. People are open and happy to share. They get excited for you and with you when you are excited.
Well, speaking of books, I'd like to ask, what is your favorite book, and what was the #1 thing that you learned from it?
My favorite book, and it's an oldie but goodie, is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That book opened not just my eyes, it opened my mind to how long the whole, the concept of creation, the concept of universal law, the concept of when you take action, the answers, the fulfillment is there for all of us. It's a matter, are you willing to vision it and then take the action and follow through with it? It's a book that you could read once a year, and it doesn't get old.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
A goal is a dream with a deadline. To me, we get so busy doing, we forget to dream, we forget to vision, we forget to go big, we get stuck caught in the weeds. So you have to be willing to dream, then you can create a goal and a plan that supports it. And isn't it wild and awesome and amazing that we can actually live our dreams when we do this versus just dream them?
Well, Ivy, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Online, under Ivy Slater and under Slater Success. You could find me on Instagram. You could find me on LinkedIn. You could find me on Facebook, Twitter. Connect with me. The book has its own website, bar2boardroombook.com, and that's BARRE. You could also, if you want to know more about the podcast I host, the blogs and content we put out consistently, just check out slatersuccess.com. I love to connect with people.
Well, Ivy, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you. It was a joy to be here.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.